To start off this campaign video, let's talk briefly about globalization. One of the core objectives is to simplify our way of life, often at the expense of creating complex circumstances. The simplification of life through complex means. Hence, globalization is a paradox, but is the acceleration and intensification of its activities, politically, culturally, and economically. Its multidimensional nature worth pursuing? Is this a paradox that we can manage? To look at this, we address one of its consequences, poverty and hunger, contextualized in the Philippines.
Hindi naman po yung talagang mahirap na hirap. Magawa rin naman po kami ng paraan para ang makakaya ng isang tao.
Maswerte pang may tuturing sina Nanay Emily at Tatay Larry kung pagbabasehan ang pinakabagong self-rated poverty survey ng SWS. Lumabas kasi sa survey na nitong Disyembre, bahagyang dumami ang mga pamilyang Pilipino na nagsabing sila'y mahirap. 51% yan o 12.9 milyon na pamilya. Mas mataas kumpara noong Oktubre na may 49% o 12.6 milyon na pamilya. 31% naman ang nasa borderline poor o yung nagsabing nasa pagitan sila ng mahirap at hindi mahirap.
The second quarter 2023 SWS survey finds that 10.4% of Filipino families experienced involuntary hunger at least once from March to June 2023. This figure is higher than the 9.8% in March 2023. SWS defines involuntary hunger as being hungry and not having anything to eat.
Isa lang lalo na yung kapos yung sahod eh. Pag hindi ka magpagod, walang pera.
Gabay ang survey na ito sa gobyerno para sa mga proyektong makatutulong sa bawat Pilipino. Pero importante pa rin ang pagsisikap ng bawat isa para umunlad ang sarili at bansa.
During his first State of the Nation address in 2022, President Bongbong Marcos or BBM set the target for lowering the poverty incidence rate to 9% by 2028. However, the Asian Development Bank or ADB points out the increased cost of living that continues to hound the world, especially third world countries such as the Philippines. ADB chief economist Albert Park notes the recovery efforts of countries in Asia and the Pacific from the lingering effects of the pandemic and the presence of inflation that makes meeting basic necessities challenging to access. In fact, Morales and Flores report that our inflation has increased significantly for the first time in 5 months in February, with the consumer price index rising to 3.4% in February from 2.8% in January, and noting the increase in food and transport costs. This means the current times have made it challenging for Filipinos to have access, especially to food. As mentioned before, the Global Hunger Index places the Philippines in 66 with a score of 14.8, which is considered a moderate level. And still, this highlights the need for policies and programs that are able to provide quality food with the right ingredients and nutrition to the Filipinos who need them the most.
From the instatement of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals in September 2015, nations worldwide have been making efforts to achieve these goals by 2030. In 2024, with only 6 years left to go, what kind of progress has the Philippines made? According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, in 2023, 25.24 million Filipinos, or 22.4% of the population, reportedly fall below the poverty line, while the UN reported in 2022 that 50.9 million Filipinos, or 44.7% of the population, are either moderately or severely food insecure. In fact, the Philippines has the highest number of food insecure people in Southeast Asia, and other surveys only serve to support this. The World Food Programme found, in October 2022, that 1 in 10 households in the Philippines experience food insecurity, and a more recent survey by the Social Weather Station in December 2023 found that 12.6% of households experience involuntary hunger. But what exactly does it mean to say that someone is impoverished or food insecure? The PSA defines poverty as the condition of not earning enough monthly income to provide for one's basic needs, including food and non-food commodities, or if they earn less than 13,797 pesos a month. On the other hand, Food insecurity, as defined by the UN, is a lack of regular access to safe and nutritious food that allows for adequate growth and good health due to either unavailability of food or a lack of resources to access food. Involuntary hunger is similar to this. It is the state of being hungry and not having anything to eat for 3 months. While this is a nationwide problem, some regions are disproportionately affected compared to others. The PSA reports that the regions with the highest poverty incidence rates in the country as of 2023 are Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, or BARMM, at 34.8%, Region 9 at 29.7%, Region 8 at 26.1%, Region 5 at 25.1%, and Region 10 at 24.8%. The World Food Programme also states that these poverty-stricken areas also have the highest levels of food insecurity in the country. However, this is not an isolated issue. The severity and continued existence of poverty and hunger are also indicative of a wider, even systemic problem. The World Bank reports that poverty in the Philippines persists due to structural factors such as inequality of opportunity and access to much-needed resources such as education or training, as well as unequal returns on these resources. This exacerbates the existence of poverty and also creates wider and wider gaps between the rich and the poor. In turn, this income inequality leads to food insecurity due to a lack of resources to buy proper, nutritious food or even being able to buy food at all.
What about us Lasalians? What can we do to achieve the UN SDGs? DLSU has prepared relevant and quality services that support the activities that aim to foster and develop students' social awareness and spiritual growth. Political Science Society, or known as PoliSci, its vision and mission are grounded upon the role of uplifting student awareness and involvement toward meaningful, effective, and progressive political participation. It aims to advance political awareness and critical thinking in order to empower individuals to be catalysts for social change. As soon competent business leaders who will soon to be the catalysts of nation building, social dependability, and economic development, the Business Management Society takes pride in their dedicated members whose holistic formation is honed through academic excellence, organizational innovation, personal development, and social responsibility. Lastly, the Economics Organization. It aims to hone students to become paragons of academic excellence and beacons of service, to strengthen social involvement, and to promote personal growth among its members by serving as a link of communication and involvement among the sectors of community. The organization initiates programs and projects that establish camaraderie and reinforce academic learning among members through various activities incorporating the Lasalian mission, Relio Amores at Cultura.
Or, just being a Lasalian is enough. Through the Service Learning Program of the Center for Social Concern and Action, or COSCA, by the university, we are equipped with the knowledge and skills needed to serve the community. A learning institution's goal isn't limited to the basic level of education, but giving relevance to what students learn in classrooms, to addressing social issues outside of these rooms. Serving to learn, and learning to serve, as they say. Looking no further at the core values of the institution, the zeal for service value could be seen as a guiding principle on how to achieve such goals. The desire to be of greater service to others, especially to the marginalized and the vulnerable, empowers us to do what is right and possible to the best of our abilities.
The Philippine government has undertaken a multi-pronged approach to tackle the interconnected challenges of poverty and hunger in line with the United Nations SDGs 1 and 2. On the poverty alleviation front, flagship programs like the Alcansya of Social Security System, which provides workers access to affordable social protection, while the Sustainable Livelihood Program provides for households with opportunities for sustainable income generation and socio-economic development. Addressing hunger and malnutrition on the other hand, we have the Republic Act 11037 or the Masustansyang Pagkain para sa Batang Filipino Act of 2018, establishing a comprehensive national feeding program. The DepEd and the SWD are the lead agencies to ensure a collaborative effort to combat childhood hunger and malnutrition. The Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition 2023 to 2028 aims to address malnutrition in all its forms, including undernutrition, micronutrient deficiency, and overweight or obesity, through a combination of social protection programs, livelihood initiatives, agricultural development strategies, and nutrition intervention. The country aims to uplift its citizens from destitution and ensure food security for all. But the question is, are these efforts enough to achieve SDGs 1 and 2 by 2030?
Looking at the various programs, it can be observed that the government is the one who is mainly responsible for helping the hungry and the poor and to give an opportunity to escape their situation. While these programs provide substantial relief to their situation, the government should also invest in long-term ideas to help the community stay self-sufficient. Some ways to help the community are through investments in agriculture, education, and the business sector. Agriculture is one of the Philippines' biggest sectors. However, several problems are seen in this industry. Farmers not owning the lands they harvest, high prices caused by traders setting high profit margins, lacking preventive measures against climate change disasters, and much more. Therefore, the government should utilize technologies and strategies that other countries are doing to boost their productivity and to reduce the impact of disasters caused by climate change. Through these technologies, processes like planting, irrigation, and pest management becomes better, therefore increasing crop yields and also saving resources. This helps the prices of goods from farmlands to become cheaper and more affordable for Filipinos living in urban areas. Next is education. Though it is more in line with SDG 4, it is also a factor in poverty. When Filipinos are educated, they are better equipped to find jobs and can access more opportunities to escape their predicament, especially when information has spread worldwide now with the creation of the internet. Education is also important in understanding the technologies we can use now. In the example previously mentioned, farmers need to learn how to apply the technologies provided to them to make use of it. Without the proper knowledge, something that can make something so much better and efficient is no better than a pile of scrap in the wrong hands. And lastly, supporting small-scale businesses is crucial for economic growth and poverty reduction in the Philippines. By providing access to easy finance processes and fostering entrepreneurship among the people, the government can stimulate job creation, income generation, and economic resilience. Investing in small businesses not only boosts economic activity, but also promotes social inclusion and empowerment, particularly for marginalized communities too. Prioritizing support for small-scale businesses is essential for building a strong economy that benefits all Filipinos and contributes to the Sustainable Development Goals.
There still are more actions to be done to further localize these SDGs. Continuing to expand social services, improve agricultural production, and refine the educational system will all help alleviate these major issues in the country. However, the Philippines is still far from localizing SDGs 1 and 2. But with the collective efforts of the government, communities, and various stakeholders, we can accelerate progress towards localizing these SDGs, and in turn, eradicating poverty and hunger. Moreover, as the Salians, we are able to contribute by utilizing our resources and knowledge to develop more holistic and lasting solutions. So as we look towards the future, it is clear that doubled effort, innovative solutions, and cooperation are needed to increase the likelihood of achieving no poverty and zero hunger in our country.
No to hunger and poverty. In a globalized world, access to food and basic needs are a privilege. It is our obligation to join our organizations, excel in our classes, educate ourselves, and help our communities as part of our zeal for service to God, to country, and to the people. Like globalization, SDGs 1 and 2 have no definite endpoint because efforts and solutions to to ending hunger and poverty are the answers to solving the paradoxical nature of globalization and the conditions it has created for us Lasalians. We have that privilege of food and wealth. As Lasalians, we share that privilege to make it a basic right.